The Three Towers Stage Race, driven by Malalan Toyota and tested by Mankele Mountain Biking.
Three Towers is aimed at different type of riders. We all know that we don't all necessarily get as much saddle time as what we want to get and the fitness, but you also still want to have a lot of fun. You know, you want to ride the bush tunnels and do all the single track and just really experience what Mankele is all about. So yeah, that's why we've got 3 different races here. You know, the guys that get the saddle time, they do the race, which is 70 odd Ks a day. Then the challenge riders, you know, maybe the guy that just gets on the bike maybe once or twice a week, and then weekends they do the challenge, which is 50 Ks a day. They really experience a lot of the big bush tunnels and a lot of the single track, which the race guys also do. And then the Mlani is aimed at guys that are just getting into stage races. You know, they haven't done multi-day rides, so they come through and they do 34 Ks a day. But we include single track and bush tunnels and, you know, all the good little things too, but we just take that massive sting out of the big climbs so that they can really enjoy every day.
The event is hosted at the famous Mankele Bike Park, where riders arrive to register and prepare themselves for 3 days of awesome riding. The Three Towers Stage Race covers 180 kilometers over the 3 days, visiting a different mountaintop tower each day, hence the name. Day 1 is a relatively short 66 kilometers with 1,450 meters of climbing. 3 well-stocked water points soften the blow of some of the monster climbs, but it's the bush tunnels and single track that makes it a fun day out. Morning on day 1, and everyone was doing their thing before the 7 a.m. start.
Gonna have an awesome time. Got to sleep in the tent last night, which was a great experience in its own. You get to hear everybody around you's local noises. It's quite interesting. You can hear like just about hyenas roaring in the night, and there's some 3 tents away snoring, but yeah, it was great.
The first stage starts off with a nasty little climb out of the bike park, but it's the shortest route to all the fun. Blessed with mild weather conditions all weekend, riders often found themselves shrouded in thick mist with drastically reduced visibility.
So a mate of mine, Mongwe, he actually rode it last year. He had a hell of a nice time. So he says he's actually roped in the whole crew. There's about 6 of us doing it for the first time. This is my maiden mountain biking race. I've been riding for 3 years, but I choose to come and start here, so it's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to have a blast.
Bees is an amazing section of rugged, fast-flowing single track hugging the side of the mountain. With its hairpin switchbacks and amazing views to distract you, it requires a fair amount of mental fortitude to get down to the bottom.
Nerves and a whole lot of fun to be had with my boys club here. The only girl, unfortunately, but we're definitely looking forward to it today, hey? And as long as we just make it through to the finish, that's a win.
Yeah, this time of the year is always an interesting time. We've just come out of winter and it's dry, and you know, every year just before Three Towers we get a little bit of rain just to settle the dust, and this year, yeah, it looks good again. So I think the guys are going to have good riding. It might get a little bit hot, and then afternoon a little bit of thunder showers just to compact the single track and make it super cool to ride again.
Well, the route last year, it was probably one of the best rides we've done. After we've done Frontier, we've done Sani, but the trails here, can't beat them, man. It's something else.
Well, we had water point 1, day 1, watermelon, jelly babies, marshmallows, potatoes, smiles. We've got it all. Great day out here. Going really, really well so far. We sort of middle of the field. I hear the leaders are already at water point number 2.
Of course, there are some big climbs due to the mountains in the area, but riders are always well rewarded for their efforts at 3 Towers. Philip Bass and Matthijs Bierkes got their stage race off to the perfect start by winning on day 1. They made short work of the 75km stage, but may have been spared a bit of effort when Nico Bell suffered a puncture just before the end. For most of the day, the Paga Eurosteel duo had 2 teams for company, namely Javi Kombrink and Nico Bell of NAD, and teenagers Henry Liebenberg and Wessel Botha, who made the move up to the longer format of racing. With most of the route featuring single tracks snaking through the grasslands and forests surrounding the Mankele Bike Park, there was not much opportunity to attack, and the teams remained close together. The climbs thinned the group, but they always came back together in the bush tunnels, where the pace picked up again to breakneck speeds. No holding back, enjoying the trails the way they should be. The racing had been nail-biting right up until the end when Nico Bell suddenly dismounted, a puncture, scuppering their hopes of a stage victory. Because Nico and Javi were competing in the sub-vets category and not in the open men's category, they weren't eligible for overall honours. But a true racer will always race for glory, so this setback would have been disappointing for the men. Their misfortune meant Paga Eurosteel were able to enjoy the last few kilometres without any pressure. Bass and Bierkes cruised through the BMX track to take victory on day 1, with Bell and Kombrink arriving 30 seconds later. The women's race proved to be a one-horse show for Dormakaba's Candice Lill and Vera Adrian. It was expected that Samantha Saunders and Amy Beth McDougall would challenge the youngsters, but a horrible day out on the bike for the Valencia ladies meant that they lost a whopping 11 minutes on the day. Victory on day 1 went to Dormakaba, a very comfortable margin, taking them into day 2. After the day's riding was done, most riders took the opportunity to relax around the braai or have an afternoon nap before the exciting one-lap VTM Communications cross-country race.
Jeff and myself came up with a good idea of having a little cross-country race in the afternoon. Basically, it's a one-lap. I think it takes about 7 minutes. It's just for the pro riders because obviously they do the log drop and triple B, you know, the big drop-offs. That's part of the cross-country series, but the main aim there too is for the spectators to see what cross-country is all about. You know, a lot of guys ride mountain bike, but they do marathon. They might watch cross-country on TV, but they don't have an idea of how technical and how exciting the sport itself actually is. And it's just so cool having people standing on the cross-country course at all the drop-offs and just watching the likes of Philip Bass and Matthijs Bierkes coming through there at full speed and just showing the skill what the cross-country riders actually have, and just hitting it as hard as they can because they're obviously just doing one lap, so they hold nothing back, winner takes all, and just go flat out. Yeah, day 2 starts off a little bit flatter than the other days, but it's definitely a fast pace. which takes you into the cattle path. The cattle path single track is super cool. It takes you into Katsia's bush tunnel, into the mine single track, and then the work starts. It's up, down, and that takes you to Death. Death is well known here. It's if you're lucky, you make it up in granny gear, but most of the guys push it. It's a tough little climb, but the reward after that is amazing. Into Sappy Bush Tunnel, which leads you down into Poplar Creek, where you see some crocs and hopefully some hippos, and straight up Jacob on the way back, which leads you into Junior's Bush Tunnel, which finishes it off with a 7k bush tunnel, and it's just a good day of riding.
With the promise of the exhilaration that is Junior's Bush Tunnel, most riders eagerly awaited the start of Stage 2. Around the tented campsite at Mankele Park, there was much hustle and bustle.
We've actually mixed it up. So yesterday morning we were a bit panicked, and we kind of scrambled around and we ran for breakfast and then came back here and tried to get ourselves sorted back at campsite, and we actually ended up almost running a bit late yesterday morning. So this morning we're trying something different. We're getting ourselves sorted here, and then we're going to make our way to the breakfast side and the start line, and then just stick it out there. So yeah, trying out different strategies.
Everyone was itching to go, especially with day one still fresh in their minds.
Jeez, and it was absolutely beautiful. Climbed hardcore for the first 30 odd k's around there, and then that drop in though, once we had finished that last major climb, was absolutely worth it. It was just beautiful, really nice technical single track riding, and just really loved the ride. It was awesome. We thoroughly enjoyed it, so looking forward to what lies ahead today. A little bit nervous from what we've heard, but excited.
Yeah, no, we had a nice sleep, getting ready, and looking forward to another great day out. The weather is looking nice. It's a bit overcast, so at least we can stay out of the sun as long as possible.
Stage 2 for the stage race is 66 kilometers with 1,650 meters of climbing, with half the day's climbing coming from 2 monstrous hills, one of which is quite aptly named Death. But it's not all doom and gloom, with iconic sections such as the Cattle Trail, the Gold Mine Trail and Junior's Bush Tunnel. All the climbing could easily be forgotten.
First 3 towers, and having a blast so far. Back next year and the year after that and after that. The bug is definitely bitten, and that's what all my friends said. So don't do that race because you're going to get hooked. Said, well, we'll see after this weekend, but the bug's bitten.
For me, this is mountain bike utopia. You don't get anything like this anywhere else in the country. Some people, when they build artificial tracks, they try and, they import rocks to make rock gardens. We've got it all naturally here. So every rock that you ride over, it was placed there by God. Nothing done by man. We just move things and level them and smooth it out. The single tracks are beautiful. We're pretty famous for the bush tunnels that we have here. It's old water courses or dongas, and we drop in at the highest point and we just gradually flow all the way down into the valleys, which it's mind blowing. You hear the guys coming through and just whistling and woohoo! I mean, for a race organizer, there's nothing better than that. So.
How's that, bruh? Good.
Okay, we're on the challenge route now. We go taking the big climb up to Mooifontein, just past the tower, and then it's a bit of a nasty climb, I'm not gonna lie, but once they start descending, it's about a 8k downhill all the way down into Skumasko Valley, past the Rots, the Croc Farm, and then up Poplar Creek.
I think just the vibe and the mountain biking personality. I think we probably made 10 or 12 new friends yesterday, just in one day. And the race village is just super cool. The food, the vibe there at the dinner tent in the evenings, the clippies and cake is top class, and the fires in the evening, sitting around the fire last night down by the river there with a couple of other teammates. That's it, it's just a magic weekend away from home.
While mountain biking is a hobby that can be enjoyed by all, it is a highly demanding sport that requires time to master. The organisers of 3 Towers have gone to great lengths to cater for all levels of rider, offering two shorter distance options, namely the Challenge and the Mngane. A trouble-free day for Javi Combrink and Nico Bell meant that they were able to stick with the Pyga Eurosteel duo the whole way to the end, as the two teams clocked a time of 2 hours 41 minutes for the 66km stage. Making short work of the brutal climbs, Combrink, Bell, Base and Bjerkes were locked in a dead heat the whole way, but this year Bell and Combrink, competing as sub-vets, would not be eligible for overall victory.
Mankele is definitely blessed when it gets to options to ride. The Lowveld is an awesome place to ride. We've got massive climbs and beautiful views, but in this Sudwala area, the amount of bush tunnels that we've opened and found is just wow. It makes the riding so special. Yes, next year is our 10 year, and we're going to go big with that one, definitely. I mean, what's awesome is we've got the same riders always coming back. The guys that are going to come for the first time, I'm sure they're going to just love it. We've got some big plans, open more trails, build more trails. That's what the guys want. Climb, you can climb, but these bush tunnels you can't find anywhere else. And looking for a good one.
Probably the biggest impression is that guys come here to have a good time on their bicycles. It's like the riding is just awesome. It's not smooth single track, it's rough and it's ready and it's out there. And the guys come here expecting to suffer a bit, but also expecting to test their skills. If you come here and you've got no technical skills, you're going to get caught short. But I think we certainly attract the type of rider that we enjoy riding with. So a lot of this is done because Mark and the guys and myself and Jeff, we like riding here. We have fun riding here. We feel that other people will enjoy it as well. So that's why we do it. For the most part, the guys really dig it. They come across the line, they've had a blast, but they felt they really work for it. Nothing comes for free here at Mankele. Every road is up, so you have to work for it. But the reward is huge, and the guys who come across the line appreciate the reward. Some of them suffer a bit more than most, but at the end of the day, they're all here. They know what they're in for. Nobody comes across the line moaning. At the end of the day, they all came to have fun, and I'm sure they all go home with a fat smile on their face.
Another exciting day of racing saw Base and Bjerkes extend their overall lead to 25 seconds, meaning it was all to race for on day 3. The Valencia ladies had a better day, but they were still almost 10 minutes behind Dormakaba going into the final day.
Day 3 of 3 Towers is definitely the fastest day of the whole event. The challenge and the race guys ride exactly the same course. 50 k's of absolute fun. I mean, it's just single track bush tunnels. The guys finish off on the avalanche route, which is it's about 8 kilometers of flat out single track, which takes you through the 80-meter tunnel, and snakes and ladders and bush tunnel right to the end.
Guys, enjoy yourselves, a lot of fun out there. Remember, next year is the 10-year anniversary of the 3 Towers, so we'll have something special.
Leaving Mankele Bike Park, the vehicle from Malelan Toyota led the riders safely through the neutral zone to their first climb of the day. Malelan Toyota has been involved with local mountain biking for a number of years, doing their bit to stay involved with the interests of the community they serve. They jumped at the opportunity to support 3 Towers, adding a new, fresh feel to the event. At the sharp end of the field, the racers kept each other in check. Pyga Eurosteel were in command as they led the way through the pine plantations. In the women's race, Samantha Sanders and Amy McDougall were hoping for a solid finish to a tough 3 days, while Candice Lill and Vera Adrian seemed poised to seal victory.
Mankele is open the whole year. We got cabins, we got camping, we've got tented camps, which is obviously the accommodation side, but our trails are open the whole year. Obviously not the Three Towers routes, that we only get permission for some of that for the race itself. But we got about 150 kilometers worth of trails that are marked out throughout the year, bush tunnels, single track. And then we also do rafting, paintball, we've got a mini zip line, and then our big focus is school groups. Mountain biking school groups come through and they do training courses and, for the Spur School Series, which is really, really good. It just lifts the kids' level of riding and, to focus on cross country. And then, we also get school groups like the good old Veld School, where massive groups come through of 130, 150 kids. They come through, we feed them every day. So it's basically like a little stage race without the riding. And then we obviously let them have a bit of fun in the bush and the mud and, obstacle courses. And so we really, really have a good time here at Mankele. We always said it's all about being outdoors and pushing yourself and having a bit of fun. And so it's really worked out well for us.
The riders could not have asked for better weather and a more perfect way to end the weekend, and the fun they were having was evident in the trailside antics and the whoops of delight. In and out of bush tunnels and through fast-flowing pine forest single track, they made their way to the iconic highlight of the day, the 8-kilometer daredevil descent known as the Avalanche. Three Towers has become well known for its technical routes, and riders are advised to come prepared to be tested. Rocks, roots, low bridges, high bridges, switchbacks and hairpins all make for a weekend of thrilling riding, catering to any rider looking for the time of their lives. The leaders were nearing the end and had reached the climb up to the final descent home. With no chance to attack, Pyga Eurosteel's Matthijs Bierkes and Philip Bass had sealed their victory and just needed to get to the finish line with the others. Enjoying the last 8 kilometers, the top teams cruised over the berms and bridges to the end.
Look, to be honest, I think with they're having slightly wet weather in places, the guys are a bit more cautious, so you tend to have less falls. When it's a little bit drier, the track's not as slippy, and then the guys go flat out, and then the medics are pretty busy. But everybody that's the guys have been knackered on the climbs, they've been broken, but every climb has a rewarding descent coming home. So I think 10 out of 10, I think the guys, everybody enjoyed themselves. I wish I was on the bike instead of on the motorbike.
The Dormakaba girls sealed their victory as they rolled into Mankele Bike Park ahead of Sanders and McDougall. Adrian and Lil, well-deserved champions of 2017.
You're the reason I'm going to prison. You're the reason I'm going Matthew man.
Another edition of Three Towers comes to a close. 2018 will be the 10th anniversary, and if you want to be part of all the fun, be sure to get online and enter now.
It's awesome. It was our first time and it was just an amazing experience. Thanks Mark, Jeff for the opportunity. Awesome.
The Three Towers Stage Race, driven by Malalan Toyota and tested by Mankele Mountain Biking.